Hello and welcome to another Supreme Commander 1v1 shoutcast here on Canis River. No, Crossfire Canal. Crossfire Canal, Canis River, those are maps that sound quite similar to each other. So what we've got here today is we have ranked 40 player, that's Guy, versus a ranked 50 player, BlackDeath. So they're quite competently compared to each other, so we should be in for a good game. It's about a 30-40 minutes game, so hopefully things will happen. It's a air factory first, that's a little unusual. So that's actually quite interesting to see this going to air factory first. So he maybe has some kind of a plan. Probably wanting to get air transport out like super early. Maybe he's got some interesting build he's going to try, but typically air factories don't come first because they're slightly more expensive than the land factories. So this will be a good game. There is a lot of mass on this game, so expand early and taking control of all these bases is going to be very important. Yeah, as I said, it's a relatively new addition to the ladder, or has been on the ladder for a while. So I guess people are not quite sure what's in store for the meta. Maybe we're going to see a fast bomber coming out? I wouldn't hate that at all. That might work really nicely. I'm really curious about this air factory. I mean, right, he has to build an aliens out of it at some point because otherwise building a land factory would have just been categorically just a bad decision. So definitely gonna see an air unit coming out of there. Maybe air transport, maybe bomber. I'm repeating myself because in the early stages of the game it just is not that much to talk about very often. Very standard build orders coming out. No hydrocarbon, so going P-gens first. The engineers are out and about. There's a bunch of mass, right? Down here all along the cliffs. And there are a few rocks here too which are with a bunch. Where are they? Yeah, there's some here, right? Are they on both sides? No, it's basically just on this side. So there's a bunch of mass here that's definitely worthwhile setting an engineer too. Like this guy's doing. So BlackDeath, I think, is definitely showing that he is more familiar with the map, I think. Pardon me, excuse me. Still engineers, he really wants to engineer out. Land users take a little bit longer to exit air factory, the engineers do, because the whole platform has to go down. Why it's elevated in the first place is possibly a little bit of curiosity. He really wants his engineers though. Really curious. I haven't seen this before, right? Who supports a factory with engineers to build engineers faster? It's I've not seen that before. I really hope that this is some like really high skill, dedicated build for this map that this guy's come up with. Okay, we've got air up from this guy before BlackDeath, even though BlackDeath went air factory first. There was, I think there's another air factory he laid down. Okay, good, and a transport's coming out, but the scouts, if he sees it, then interceptors might be able to intercept it. Is he putting interceptors? No, it's a chariot. And you know, that's fine, right? Because he wants to secure his expansions as well. There's a lot of room for some naval play on this game, especially if you've got one of those cruisers that has a long-range attack like the UEF Governor. The UEF Governor cruiser on this map is just absolutely amazing. There's nothing it can't reach, and its anti-air capabilities is just amazing. So if you can control the seas and you can get governors in just the ocean, like it's just everything in your life is just better. So he's landing his engineers very, micro-intensively, one at a time. That's good to see. Just dropping one, and then off we go. On the same side here too. No, okay, so the scouts are out, okay, 4 minutes and the enemies have scouted each other. So maybe we'll see something explode. That's all I really come here for. I want to see things explode. No, that's not all I come here for. I'd like to see... There's something very satisfying in seeing good players play a game well. And just constantly changing and adapting to their opponent. It's something very, very... I like it, right? Okay, very good with words there. No. But yeah, it's something very engaging, right? Very thought-provoking, puzzling, intriguing about competing against an individual on a one-on-one basis. And it can be very rewarding too when you do well and you get better. And I guess that's every avenue in terms of life, right? When you just get better at something, it feels good, especially when you've been trying to do it. And why not get good at games? It's fun. most boring ever. But they're going for the chariot is going to get it. That is on fire. If you're on that chariot, you're sad. Like everything is on fire. The engineers are on fire. I mean, nice feature in the game, right? If once they're on fire, it takes damage because it's on fire. But it's just graphical, and we know that. But well, the engineers may be on fire a little bit, but that is not a safe thing to be on, right? That thing needs some repairs. More interceptors are going to kill it, but the precious cargo is dropped. So, okay, we're a little bit in the game. Blackdeath is definitely expanding much more aggressively and strongly. Even though he wins F actually first, he didn't get his A units out first. But, sorry, there's something caught in my throat. I have coffee, and coffee is nice. So, yeah, okay. Blackdeath is definitely showing he has a much stronger board order than this guy. Even though he's, on the very least, when I checked just before I watched the game, this guy was ranked 40, Blackdeath was 50, so even though this guy was rated more highly than Blackdeath, there's something about this map that Blackdeath is definitely in charge of. This guy is really behind in the meta, he's really behind in controlling the land. Blackdeath is on this island, this island, this island, and he knows exactly what he's points up to because he's scouting, he's killing his units. So, in the economy, Blackdeath is almost double. Yeah. Like, I picked the longer games because I feel like they're probably going to be more competitive and more interesting stuff is going to happen, but this one is... I think maybe what you're going to learn from this game is how to play it by Blackdeath, yeah? Okay, he taught us, because he's completely dominating. This guy is... he has got some serious work to do. I don't quite know how he's going to manage to achieve it. I like the way his power plants are spaced. Most people don't bother with this. It's a nice detail. It just means when you explode you get less splash damage. Still gets a lot of the adjacency bonuses, but just, you know, maybe it's a sign of a coward who expects, or a sign of someone who's just expecting to lose units, and yeah, it's a bit cowardly. Like, I'm not cowardly, that's not the right word, it's pessimistic, yes, a little bit pessimistic. I am going to lose my stuff, and when I lose it, I don't want it to hurt me so much. Explosions game is still so pretty. No one's gone Navy yet. If Auroras, they can float, not a great option. The Zuitis, the Seraphim floating T1 RT, they're great on this map because a lot of land units here. I'm not entirely quite sure they're even necessary, but he's so far in the lead, he might as well just double down on it. An optimistic bomber coming out from this guy. A very optimistic bomber. I'm not entirely quite sure what he's hoping to achieve, because there's so many engineers here, right? It won't delay him like one iota, even if he manages to kill a few. He's got, I'll say more about this side when we saw the land factories. He's got one land factory vessel, there's a multitude of engineers. Oh my goodness. This guy, you are so far behind. Do you even know? I don't know if you do know. I hope that you do know. Economy-wise... yeah, even though Blackdeath has presences on all the islands, he hasn't really secured all the mexes yet. The same can be said with this guy, he's about half the eco, but a lot's going to change in the next few minutes as things get built. Okay. He killed an engineer who was building the tier 1 anti-air turret, and then he continued to bomb the anti-air turret even though it wasn't rebuilt, because, yeah, might as well. Navy coming out. Yeah, you don't want to lose Navy on this map, because your opponent has destroyers and what, it just flies or sails them up and down the passageways, and yeah, it can cause a lot of trouble, especially if you've got cruisers which can shoot air units. So also, Cyber Destroyer's got the legs, so that gives them so much more utility on this map. Oh, your thing's a little out of range. No, it isn't, because I got legs. I am going to speed this up until something interesting happens, because they're just kind of like, this is maybe not the best map to cast. I think maybe in the future I'll maybe steer clear a bit, because it takes so long for the opponents to really get to engage the enemy. We've got some Auroras coming up, so taking advantage of their floating capacities. But where are they gonna go? Those few Auroras are too few to get anything useful done. We've got some shields down, sign of a pessimist. No, I always put my shield next to my power plant. It's just too bad to lose it, and the shield's not that expensive, and you put some more power plants here and just the structures there. Usually I try to make it cover the next as well, so the shield is covering, you know, more expensive stuff. But I'm sure that's fine. Some optimistic engineers coming through here. I think that's a real sign of this guy. So he's just... I've been calling him optimistic and pessimistic at the same time simultaneously, and that's not right. You can't be optimistic and pessimistic both at the same time, can you? Maybe you can. I think that's like the first proper harass we've seen in this game. This does not count as harass. This is just suiciding. Yeah. Jesters, right? Okay, 11 minutes, jesters, why not? They're useful, they can kill things. Okay, so what do I want to see from each player? Yeah, if I was Black Death, I would definitely go the Navy play. I would go for destroyers. I'd just clear out everything near the coast on every side, and then maybe battle ship even, depending on how resistant my opponent is. They got a nice long range, and then maybe just walk a Monkey Lord up. But the battleships just killing stuff and wrecking stuff. It's really hard to build the defensive line and get the economy up, and the Monkey Lord could probably just walk in and build it. I've got a feeling Black Death might try and end the game a little bit earlier, maybe going for an air domination. For this guy, I'm not really quite sure his plan is. He's going T2 gunships, which is fine, but he's going to have some more air superiority for those to be effective. Maybe the Aeon T2 is probably something that he's going to go for. That will give him air superiority. Well, I guess he's got a bunch of interceptors here. But for this amount of gunships, right? Is this a snipe? Is that what he's going to try and do? Is he just going like, I am so far behind, I'm just going to... No, that's not going to be... It's just going to try and secure more of the territory. It's not really going to go for the murder kill phase. Although, a bunch of gunships here, if they took out these generators, that might change things a little bit. But I've got a feeling Black Death will be able to throw up air defenses more quickly than can really be achieved. So I actually like this. This is a good play. He's getting some harass line with these gunships. It's some of these things are happening, right? People are shooting each other, things are exploding, this game is leveled up, so time to slow it down. So it's nice that he's going for the harass. Impressively, this guy has got, the economy is pretty much dead Stevens now. Dead Stevens, even Stevens. Who's Stevens and why is he dead? No one knows, but these gunships probably aren't going to last that much longer with these interceptors on the tail, unless the blue interceptors get some more work done. Yeah. It's a shame, right? Because he had the interceptors. This was just a micro fail. But Black Death is pumping out interceptors really quickly now. So what's he building here? Okay, he's building the T1 interceptors from a T2 aircraft. That's fine. Still getting some work done with the gunships. And this guy is actually crypto ahead in the economy. So even though he's got a third of the map, right? Definitely more upgraded, and he's harassed quite strongly. Can you call it a strong harass? But he did harass. He got a lot of the mexes out, right? Maybe that's what we can call it, a strong harass. He got a lot of the eco damage done. So I was inappropriately writing this guy out of the game much too soon. So that was my bad. He's got his destroyer out, which I like to see. Black Death has got his cruiser out, which is not going to do well against the destroyer. But again, anti-air capabilities. We've got Horse Edge, which is a strange choice when there's so many interceptors out. I don't like that at all. And I'm thinking, how do Forces do an air superiority? Because he can either build them or two interceptors. Do Forces do better than two interceptors and air superiority? I don't know. I never really considered that as an option. But maybe that's what they're there for. It's got no kill, so... Yeah, no, I don't like it. If you just keep up building two interceptors, maybe move the cruiser up here when you've got a destroyer, but you don't have a destroyer. But Aeon cruisers, right? They've got... Yeah, there's quite a discrepancy between the different races in terms of their cruisers. Some cruisers can take out T3 air and some can't. Some cruisers have very long range attack and others don't. And this is why I like the Euro cruiser so much, because it has both those capacities, and that is what I want. Money. Yeah. The best things in life are free, but you can leave them for the birds and bees. I want my Governor Cruiser. Yeah. Governor Cruiser. I will never do that again. I apologize. If you're still listening, you know, that's some dedication. I'm impressed. And I thank you for it, right? Oh no, it's sank. How sad. Cruiser coming out. Another cruiser here. Another destroyer, the cruiser. So the presence of these cruisers just makes it so much more difficult for Black Death to just move air around the map, because they'll just constantly attrition any air units that fly around and trying to destroy, which is a mistake because you need to get the cruiser. Although I think the Cyberman cruiser is much better in naval combat than the Aeon cruiser is. In fact, that's kind of Aeon cruiser. Okay, it technically can shoot it, right? But it's not really something that you ever want to be engaged with. I think the Cyberman cruiser is actually fairly capable in a naval combat sense. So the air battle is definitely getting real. I like this. I want you to see you take off mexas and power plants, like that thing. That is what I want to see. The harassment of this guy, I think, is really great. He peaked at such a good time. He held back. He said, okay, you can take the map. It's fine. I'll eco. I know what you can do. I'll harass you later on. I'm really impressed with the way this guy's been playing it. It's just, I really like it. And now he's just wrecking Black Death's economy, and there's just not all that much you can do about it. Even though Black Death has all these 4 islands, or he's mostly got this island, right? Oh, we got Wagner's. They're going to cause him trouble unless he is able to do something bad. Although he's also engineers, so that a few PD1s here will really do some work. Although unless he goes for the naval factory, he's going to have to get a few destroyers out there to deal with that. Got some submarines, barracudas. That will, well, with enough of them, they'll make work of all the navy that this guy's building so far. So this game has got way more interesting, and just as well, because otherwise I was be like, oh no, I chose such a bad replay to watch. I'm so sad. And I wasted my time, and I please build a thing, like a destroyer or a frigate, or because bad things are about to happen. So retreating to the interceptors, this is fine. He's actually a very respectable force of gunships, and they're getting work done. He's just rummaging around the map, picking up mexes here and there, really putting the demand on the micro from Black Death to try and keep his economy up. This guy, his economy is 102. It's 277. I was like, that can't be real. Submarines coming out in quads, like that. That's a fun thing to say. Submarines coming out in quads because, yeah. Torpedo bombers. So yeah, okay. This guy's figured out. Okay, the submarines are a problem. I guess priority. The correct answer is torpedo bombers. And yeah, I was worried about these Wagners, and I needed to fit because obviously gunships. Somehow I didn't put that together. The graphics from the Wagners just look so much more impressive and dangerous. A fiery plasma blast. Yeah. Okay. So for those of you who don't know, right, when you're trying to hurt your... Okay, typically when you're trying to pump out navy, you just put a ton of engineers to support a naval factory. And most of the bulk capacity are engineers, so if you just have 1 or 2 bombers, and you just, place 1 T1 bomber there, you can almost completely wreck your opponent's naval production just by going after the engineers. It's very cost effective, and it's a very good thing to do, and it's kind of what we saw there. Going after the engineers first. These corsairs, I don't believe they're paying for themselves, and do they put wrecks? Are we going to get some wrecks there? Okay, we'll maybe see that a little bit later. We've got some marines on the map. They are just idling. These ones are not idling. These ones are shooting torpedoes. They don't do that much damage. It takes them a while to kill things. So, okay. What does Black Death need to do here? He needs to get more cruisers out, I think. He needs to get some navy up. There is so much air from this guy. He needs an answer. So, yeah, I would definitely use cruisers. He definitely needs to have a few flak emplacements here. Maybe even going to T3 areas as he needs to do. He's got some flak. That's good. He is so vulnerable to just this constant raiding and harassing. And this is going to cause trouble. Oh no, he's got the flak. It'll be fine. Especially with these guys all clumped up. Yeah, that was the correct amount of flak he needed, and this is just a present. This is fantastic. This is such a nice gift of all that mass there. So yeah, that's what flak does. When you have clumped up gunships, really good. So that's what I really want to see. Okay, got the cruiser out, but you got to keep the cruiser alive. So you need to have the destroyers and the other submarines to make sure that you can keep the cruiser alive. Oh, he's got destroyers up here. I didn't see that because they're on the land. Like, obviously, right? Protects them from torpedoes, that's actually pretty smart. I like that a lot. I really didn't consider that. It's, yeah, the water isn't safe enough for the destroyers, so they go on the land where they are much more safer, and they go, or the Sky Slammers to protect them from the air units. And yeah, I like this. You just sail up and down, you kill what you can kill. I didn't like the way the Barkners went up here. I don't quite know they were going to do any good work. I would have rather just have seen them completely take out that naval factory, and hopefully that is what they're going to do there now. So economy is BlackDeath is still marginally ahead, but I prefer this guy's position largely because of his naval situation. Although that might change. Like this game, anyone's in this game, right? I think both of them are they're completely neck to neck. We're 22 minutes in. BlackDeath has got more control of the map, but is definitely less built up in terms of his mexes. Many of the mex locations are not built up, but this guy's the naval superiority. He's got air superiority, so I think he has naval superiority. Well, they're kind of about equal, but they're running away from each other. But with this guy's air superiority, he can make sure he can take out get the advantage of the navy. So it's got some destroyers, 2 destroyers, 1 cruiser. It's been a while since I've seen someone stick so hard on T2 air. Like normally, Aeon has the advantage with this T2 air fighter, but people so rarely ever use it. But here, if they're both sticking to T2 air, that is actually giving him a huge advantage. That's a side cruiser, but now, yeah, again, BlackDeath's in trouble because he doesn't have a cruiser. Or oh, he does. He has one up here. That's too far away from these destroyers. So, hey, at least these Sky Slammers are doing fantastic work. Maybe the destroyers time to get out of the water. That's not going to last long. I don't know about these corsairs. I really don't. I haven't done the maths. I don't quite know how good they are compared to a T1 Interceptor in terms of cost effectiveness in air combat, but I definitely feel that T1 Interceptors is probably the better choice. 1 destroyer survives. So some buggers have sneaked past, hopefully being able to kill a few mexes and economy. This is a very large concentration of power plants, so Raz done, that's a little bit scary. In all of this, when your opponent is able to go Raz, this is okay. So somehow, okay, well not somehow, we know how, we watched it. Even though BlackDeath controlled so much of the map, this guy managed to secure and develop himself sufficiently to really do a very strong time in T2 air harass and then navy build, and there wasn't able to be much response from BlackDeath, even though he got the early secure and he had a significant economic advantage for quite some time. This guy was able to do just too much damage in his airplay, and now with naval support, and now he's I can't see him losing the game now. Not that I've said that before, not 18 minutes ago. Yeah, I'm not sure BlackDeath gained anything by going in air factory first. I think that's possibly a mistake. He could have easily gone to land factory and got all his air factory builds with his air factory. I think it probably delayed him a little bit. It didn't see him get any advantage. His opponents got alien stuff before he did. Otherwise, I think this game is pretty much just going to be a matter of how will this guy decide to destroy his enemy. Because with this situation going on over here, Red's potential for being able to build a navy is just gone. And it's really just so difficult to try and sneak some naval land buildings on some places of the map. Blue has got complete air control, and I'm not really quite sure what his plan is. He seems to be quite content building corsairs for I'm not entirely quite sure what reason. Even if they are good at taking out tier interceptors, there are just way too many here for the Corsairs to deal with. Like, actually makes me a little bit sad. So once again, I'm going to speed the game up, and I'll slow it down if anything interesting starts to happen. But I don't really see how Blackdeath is going to come back from the situation he here finds himself in. So many T20s, what Swift wins. Yeah. These guys have given these guys, the Swift wins that this guy has built, has given this guy a huge advantage on this map. Normally, this is a very small window between T1 and T3 air to build T2 air that people usually never bother with it. It was possibly a mistake for Blackdeath to have stuck on T2 air so long. Maybe he really needed to go to T3 air, and you know, hindsight and all, but fighting T2 air against an enemy of Swift winds, I think was just a mistake. I don't know if another different option would have worked, but it didn't work what he tried. And just because something didn't work doesn't mean that was the worst plan, but sometimes there are better plans. And trying to take our strap bombers with T2 flak is just, it's so difficult. T2 flak just does a terrible job at dealing with strap bombers. So these guys are going to finish the game pretty smartly. He's maybe just going to build a few. I did see a few go down. I'm not sure exactly who does the damage to it, but the flak can't track the bombers fast enough, so they usually always miss. And the bombers also get veterancy, so you have to get a lot of hits on them. He's bringing T1 bombs, I'm not entirely quite sure what they're for, maybe just to draw some fire. Now if these Corsairs were able to kill these guys on the ground, that'd be really cute. But I don't think we're going to see that happening. I think this guy is just going to keep on building strap bombers until he gets just enough to finish the game. And that's probably exactly what we're going to see. I think it's the Corsairs that are doing most of the damage to the strap bombers. More coffee. And he's got so much flak over his base that if he sends in interceptors, even the Swift ones, they'll just get completely wrecked by the flak. And he's got a SAM side up now, so he's kind of making himself resistant to strap bombers, but if this guy just builds, you know, like 8 or 10 or 12, he can just snipe his commander, and I've got a feeling that's what's going to happen here. Because he is really trending towards that kind of critical number. He's got 6. 6 might just be too few. And it's always sad to see someone do a strap bomber snipe and nearly kill the guy, right? Because they're a little bit too impatient. Thinking, this is enough, and then when you send in 6 and they don't work, then you just have to, what, build 7, 8 more again, instead of just an extra 2. You send 6 doesn't work, and 8 doesn't work, so 10 doesn't work. You just make sure you have enough so it always works. Too often I've seen strap bomber snipes just not work because it just weren't enough. These Corsairs, they just strike me as being extremely cost ineffective. I think they're a big mistake. T1 interceptors or just try and go straight to T3. But I think he's stuck on Corsairs for far too long. The strap bombers are going to come in, let's slow it down for the strap bombers. The twin bombers are coming in too. I can only think that they're there to try and draw some fire. He's targeting the shields, which isn't terrible. But he's got SAM sight, so those bombers are not going to last long, and I don't think he'll probably have enough. Unless he targets the... yeah, rushing the shield, that's exactly what he should be doing. Damages on... well, that's it, right? This guy won. Well, very well played to both players. I think both players played really well. Blackdeath was very aggressive in the early game. He managed to secure 2/3 of the map and really managed to get a strong early economy lead on his opponent. His opponent, however, he teched and he developed his islands, more, right? Because he was a little bit more constricted in his terrain, and he was able to do a very good T2 air harass. And the game just stayed on T2 air for so long to such an advantage to this guy. He had the swift wins and his opponent didn't, and he was trained very ineffectively with his corsairs. So thank you for joining me, and I hopefully will see you guys next time. Okay, bye.